am a pig.
What's a pig?
Show him how we...
Don't spit in his mouth. No, don't spit it back.
Horrible turn of events.
On a remote island, Red runs in panic while carrying an egg. He crashes into a tree trunk without realizing there is a cliff on the other side. As a result, he falls and manages to cling to a vine. The bird cannot fly and keeps crashing into trees along the way, even encountering a snake. Just as he is about to retrieve the egg, the branch he is standing on breaks. He falls, hitting many parts of the tree on his way down. His body is bounced upward. He manages to grab the egg, and then falls into a river. After getting out of the water, Red arrives at a house where a little girl comes outside. He wishes her a happy birthday, but the girl starts crying when she opens the egg-shaped gift. Red then faces a ruined cake caused by a squirrel that has fallen into it. The girl's father becomes annoyed because Red gives many excuses for being late to the party and demands that Red pay for the damage. Faced with this situation, Red loses his temper and throws the cake directly at the man's face. As a result, he is kicked out of the house. Before leaving, however, he steps on the squirrel, slips, and nearly falls onto the egg in the nest. The family tries to hold him up, but Red still falls onto the egg. The shell breaks and reveals their unborn baby, a baby boy. After all the chaos, Red heads home. Along the way, he gets angry at a bird standing in a line and at a mime who follows him. As a child, Red was often bullied by other birds because of his thick eyebrows. Because of this, he grew into an impatient adult. Years later, when he arrives home, he is surprised when a small bird throws a ball in his direction, and Red kicks the bird away. Soon after, Red is put on trial for his emotional outbursts. During the hearing, the judge insults Red. Red then exposes the truth that the judge is not actually tall, but is standing on top of another bird hidden under his clothes. Even so, the authorities sentence Red to attend an anger management course. Red leaves the trial furious and even more stressed. On the way, he has to wait while several animals cross the street at a crosswalk. Outside the Infinite Acceptance Center, Red encounters a bird made of tree branches that can move on its own and make sounds. A few seconds later, Red becomes annoyed and jumps on it, rolling across the floor with the object. Even then, the toy keeps making noise. Red throws it away and slams the door of the building with great force. Inside, Red meets Professor Matilda, who introduces him to the rest of the group. Red does not want to stay, but he is forced to sit down and listen to the stories of the other members. One of them is Chuck, a yellow bird who was sent to rehabilitation for a speeding violation. The instructor explains that Chuck ran from the police during a check, destroyed the police station, stole an officer's wallet, and spent all the money at a bar. There is also Terrence, a giant bird with a constant angry expression. When Matilda is about to tell his story, she explains that Terrence only caused an accident, which is why he is in rehab. Another member is Bomb, a bird who explodes like dynamite when he gets angry. During a yoga session, he becomes stressed, his body inflates, and he explodes, hitting everyone in the room. Afterward, Chuck invites Red to go to the museum, but Red refuses because he does not feel like going out with them. On his way home, Red sees a group of friends having fun together and a family reacting to the first kick of a baby inside an egg. At that moment, Red feels sad because he realizes how lonely he is. The next day, each participant writes a poem to express their feelings. Chuck's poem talks about the wooden bird that Red destroyed, accusing him of the act. The group is hurt by Red's behavior and forbids him from taking part in the farewell of the toy. However, when something happens outside, they run over the object and destroy it even more. Chuck runs frantically to catch up with the crowd and receives a ticket from a traffic warden. When they reach the beach, all the birds see a giant ship. The ship approaches quickly, and Red realizes it is heading straight for his house. Red runs to stop his home from being destroyed. The ship stops on top of the house without crashing into it, but a rock from the ship's winch comes loose and destroys part of Red's house. A green pig named Leonard comes out of the ship and reveals that he has come from Pig Island to meet other creatures. All the birds are shocked because they believe there is no other place in the world besides Bird Island. One of the visitors greets all the birds on the beach, but when he reaches Terrence, he makes a strange face to avoid being hugged. During a welcoming party, Leonard presents one of his community's inventions, which accidentally blows up the stage and causes chaos. Shortly after, Leonard introduces a giant slingshot designed to transport objects from one place to another. They use a tray of fruit stolen from the party's waiters to demonstrate the device, hitting several birds, including Chuck. While everyone else is having fun, Red believes the visitors are only causing trouble. Leonard then chooses Red to help with the next performance and places him in the slingshot to launch him onto the beach. During the landing, Red loses control and hits his head on a rock. When Red stops in front of the pig ship, Chuck comes up with the idea of breaking in, and the two of them board the vessel. Inside the ship, Bomb also appears and finds a room full of trampolines and another room filled with strange racing cars. There is also a room with bizarre costumes. Bomb plays on a trampoline, jumping up and down until he breaks the floor and falls into a room full of little pigs that have been hiding there all along. Red immediately returns to the party to warn his community that the visitors have been lying. He explains that he found thousands of little pigs hidden inside the ship, along with various weapons. Leonard tries to defend himself by saying that the animals came to prepare a surprise show, which is why they have not left the ship yet. Believing Leonard's words, the judge decides that Red must return to the rehabilitation center. The visitors then enjoy themselves by eating all the food before Red can have any, and they even invade his house to enjoy his belongings. This makes Red even angrier. Leonard learns that baby birds are born from eggs, something that does not happen in his community. This discovery makes him imagine what life would be like if he had an egg. The red bird notices this after seeing a pig playing with someone else's child. At this point, the red bird begins to suspect the visitors and questions whether they are truly just passing through the island. More and more ships continue to arrive. During the interrogation, he accuses Leonard of lying in order to confirm his suspicions. The red bird invites Chuck and Bomb to investigate the pigs together. They decide to seek help from the mighty eagle, a very powerful bird capable of destroying rocks and crushing coconuts with his arms. There is no evidence that the hero is still alive. Even so, the three of them climb a mountain to look for him. Along the way, they cross bridges made of tree trunks, face storms, and pass a gorge filled with stacked rocks that are close to collapsing. When they reach the top, they realize they have climbed the wrong mountain. The correct hill is right next to it. They go back and climb another rock. There they discover the Lake of Wisdom, which contains magical water that can be drunk. The red bird realizes that no one has visited the place for a long time. Even so, his friends swim in the enchanted water. The red bird feels uneasy because they show no respect for the sacred place. Suddenly, a loud roar is heard. A giant eagle emerges from a cave at the top of the mountain. When the creature urinates in the lake, all of the bird's enchantments disappear. The giant eagle invites them to the Gallery of Heroism, a cave filled with stolen objects that he uses as his home. At the same time, the pigs take over the island and invite everyone to a party they organize. The red bird expects the hero to help them. Instead, the mighty eagle uses binoculars to spy on female birds. The red bird realizes that the visitors are placing explosives all over the island. Even so, the eagle says that he has retired. This deeply disappoints everyone, as he is the only one capable of flying and is now afraid to do so. Frustrated, the three friends race down the mountain at high speed. Along the way, they see pigs stealing all the eggs from the nests. Several explosions occur as the enemies destroy the houses. Chuck uses his super speed to dodge falling debris. He arrives at the party first and tries to warn the others that their community is under attack. Meanwhile, Bomb and the red bird jump on a trampoline to reach a net full of stolen eggs. The black bird climbs the chain to blow it up. Just as the fuse is about to ignite, the enemies throw water on it, causing both of them to fall into the sea. A boat sails from the beach toward Pig Island. At that moment, the enemies blow up the eagle statue, sending debris flying in all directions. The next day, the birds observe the destruction left behind by the visitors. The judge asks the red bird what they should do next. The villagers then elect the red bird as the leader of the community. The new leader delivers a motivational speech, saying that they must build a boat capable of reaching the enemy's island. That same day, everyone searches for floating objects to build the ship. They place the giant statue in the center of it. The birds tie several boxes of explosives to the structure, creating a makeshift boat that could explode at any moment. On Pig Island, Leonard, the king known as Mudbeard, is greeted by a huge crowd as he walks toward his throne. Soon after, he presents a pile of eggs and announces a feast that will last for 2 full days. Leonard claims that he is the only descendant of his family who managed to find the food. Meanwhile, the birds arrive in enemy territory. They find a deserted beach covered only with debris. Farther inland, they come across a large city. The red bird tells them they must find Leonard, as he is guarding the eggs. He decides to use the giant slingshot to launch his friends toward the castle. The first volunteer is Matilda, who is fired at high speed. As she approaches the city, she ignites herself and blows up countless pigs. Next, the toucan flies like a boomerang and strikes one of the enemies. Its shape allows it to curve back, nearly hitting Bomb before being stopped by a tree. Then it is the turn of the chubby bird, who sits on the slingshot and shoots slime in every direction. When he reaches the city, he crashes into several houses and destroys them. After that, the mime bird destroys more buildings. Realizing that his city is under attack, the king decides to postpone the egg feast until lunchtime. On another part of the battlefield, the orange bird is launched and destroys nothing along the way. However, when he lands, he inflates to a gigantic size, destroying everything around him. A few minutes later, a pink bird is fired from the slingshot. She flies at full speed and crashes into buildings but fails to reach her main target, the castle. The judge also launches his attack, striking with a hammer of justice. After witnessing the battle, the mighty eagle decides to become a hero once again. However, he cannot support his own weight when he tries to fly and ends up falling off the mountain. In enemy territory, Red asks Terence to throw him onto a pile of rocks. At that moment, his friends mourn their failure. Unexpectedly, Red uses the rocks as a springboard and manages to enter the castle after breaking a glass window. Leonard immediately orders his subordinates to search for the bird that has infiltrated the fortress. Next, Chuck is launched by the slingshot. He shoots toward the castle at high speed and destroys everything in his path, but his charge ends when he crashes into a brick wall. Minutes later, Bomb arrives as well. To fight back, the enemies deploy the Pigs' Air Force, attacking with explosives. Terence prepares to be launched into the fortress, but his massive weight snaps the slingshot in half. Inside the castle, Red and Chuck search for the eggs but instead find Bomb. They are then surprised by a celebration, as the enemies prepare a feast in the dining hall. A giant iron door bears the words "No eggs here." As Red begins to plan an attack, Chuck uses his super speed to strike. The enemies move in slow motion, and Chuck creates chaos that makes the pigs believe one of their own is attacking them. The pigs begin fighting each other. When the trio finally reach the egg room, they are pulled out by a winch. At the same time, Red clings to the net and is carried into the dining hall, while his friends are left behind. Bomb tries to climb a pipe but falls. Chuck enters the pipe at high speed but gets stuck because of his size. Seeing that Red refuses to give up on saving the eggs, the enemies decide to cook him. Facing danger, Red attacks one of the pigs and falls out of a window. By doing this, Red gains control of the winch and stops the mechanism, preventing the net of eggs from reaching the boiling water. Suddenly, Mighty Eagle flies into the castle, destroying the dining table and crashing into the giant cauldron. Chuck is forced out of the pipe and manages to get inside, then opens the door for his friend. Mighty Eagle grabs the net of eggs and flies it out. Chuck and Bomb hold onto the net as well. However, Leonard grabs Red's foot, helped by other pigs pulling them back. As a result, one egg slips loose and rolls into the dining hall. Red returns to the castle to save the egg that was left behind. The Pig King tries to steal it, but Red dodges him. The boiling cauldron suddenly collapses, splashing hot water onto their feet, forcing them to jump and cling to the ceiling. Outside, Bomb uses his power to destroy the planes chasing the eggs. Matilda also defeats several enemies with her strength. Bomb in the city sees many enemies approaching and triggers an explosion that destroys them and sends him flying through the air. Meanwhile, Red and the Pig King grab a massive boulder on the ceiling of the hall and fall with it through several floors of the castle. Matilda is surprised by an enemy tank, and when it stops, she realizes Terence is driving it. Red reaches the deepest level of the castle and finds a warehouse filled with dynamite and explosives. Leonard steals the egg again and heats it with a candle to eat it. Red acts quickly, distracts the enemy, and recovers the egg. The candle flame threatens to blow everything up. When the cauldron falls from above, Red hides beneath it and survives as the dynamite explodes, destroying the entire city. All the birds return to collect their eggs, except for one family that is saddened because they cannot find their child. They also mourn Red's death, unaware that he rises alive from the wreckage, carrying 3 blue babies that hatched from the egg he saved. Red returns the chicks to their parents, who thank him. Mighty Eagle acknowledges the courage of the trio, who inspired him to become a hero again. Back on the island, the community builds a statue to honor Mighty Eagle for saving the eggs, while Red and his friends are treated as supporting figures. Red is given a new home in the village. After entering, he slams the door in his friends' faces, then admits he is joking and invites them in. After the victory, all the birds dance in celebration, unaware that the pigs have already begun rebuilding their village and that Leonard is planning a new attack, and with that the story ends here. The movie teaches that controlling anger helps you make better decisions. It shows that being different does not mean you are wrong, and your traits can become strengths. It also highlights the importance of teamwork and trusting others to overcome bigger problems.